keeper of the between. They called him Obajomu, the keeper of the between. He was not a king in the earthly sense, though he wore his joy like a crown and walked with the steady grace of one who had seen the rise and fall of many storms. His robes flowed in colors that told stories, blues for oceans crossed, orange for fire endured, black for the silence of loss, gold for the laughter that refused to die. No one knew exactly how old he was. When the children asked, he would smile and say, old enough to remember when stars still whispered their names. He lived not in a village or city, but in a place between worlds, a garden suspended in a sky that didn't quite follow the rules. Time bent softly there. Gravity was patient. Light came in curves. Strange flowers glowed at dusk and closed at dawn. Music drifted on wind that carried memory, not air. This was the between, the space where stories lived after they were forgotten, where ancestors whispered to those still listening, and where imagination was not make-believe, but language. Obajomu had earned his place here not by invention, but by remembering. He had once lived a very human life. He had known heartbreak, hunger, prejudice. He had buried friends. He had watched systems fail and people forget. But through it all, he kept one thing alive: wonder. When others grew tired or bitter, he grew curious. When the world turned cold, he built warmth, with stories, with hands, with love. He believed there was a kind of science in the spirit, that joy was a form of resistance, and that memory, when shared truthfully, became medicine. In his final years on Earth, he began to dream in strange colors, swirls of sound, shapes he had no words for. He would wake laughing or crying, and then write it all down in books no one could read, but everyone could feel. And then, one day, just as quietly as he had arrived decades before, he disappeared. They searched, they mourned, but no one ever found him. That is, no one on Earth. But in the between, he was very much alive, laughing, planting new seeds in the dream garden, holding story circles with travelers who had wandered too far from themselves, telling children who had lost hope that wonder is a compass and joy is the map. He had become what he always was becoming, a keeper of what most forget, that we are not just here to survive, but to remember we are magic wrapped in skin. And every so often, someone on Earth would see a swirl in the clouds, a flower glowing too brightly to be natural, a strange warmth in the wind. And they'd wonder, what if there's more? And Obajomu, from the between, would smile, because the wondering meant they were close.